Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of My Name is Dad. And today's a very special episode. But before we get started, I am the host, Brandon Benson, and we're going to talk very quickly about the sponsor. The sponsor is myself, which is Point B Grading and Turfgrass Maintenance, LLC. And again, I do a lot of laser grading. I do a lot of baseball infields, softball infields, all that kind of stuff. And landscape contracting, irrigation repairs, any of that kind of stuff. You can call me up in the Phoenix area. Check us out at pointbgrading.com, or you can send us an email at pointbgrading@gmail.com. Okay, today is a very special episode. This is not part of the Who Am I series. This is just a regular old My Name is Dad podcast episode, and I have a very special guest. He is my best friend. His name is Jesus Mendez. He is here to join me on this podcast. Introduce yourself, Jesus.
What's up, guys? I'm Jesus Mendez. Like I said, I am his best friend, so all you motherfuckers who want to try to be there, you cannot be there because I am the one, the only Jesus Mendez. You know what I'm saying?
So a little backstory on Jesus. Maybe we should tell the story of how we even met, right? Maybe we should start with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story is that I was working for the city of Peoria, and I was the ground superintendent for the Peoria Sports Complex, and you were like the supervisor, whatever you were, for Drip and Turf.
Uh-huh.
And Drip and Turf the owner is a landscape contractor who had a maintenance contract with a charter school.
Yep.
Which is, maybe we won't name them, but they're a charter school.
Right.
And they have a high school, and they have a couple elementary schools that feed into this high school. And it's a private charter school sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So, it turns out that your boss ends up posting this job for once like a superintendent, like a golf course kind of like superintendent kind of guy, whatever it is. I apply for it. I don't know anything. I'm kind of looking to get out of the city of Peoria because it's kind of a fucking disaster. But and I'm looking to get out, and I have this idea about this business, and I'm kind of looking for. I didn't have any money, so I was kind of like looking, and that was one of the things I proposed to the owner was like, hey, I got this idea for this business, blah blah blah, and he's like, oh yeah, it sounds great, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. And so I applied and I interviewed with them. I interviewed with I did like a phone interview when I was stuck in traffic one time. And then I did like a personal interview when he was like, it was like on the weekend. He was spraying or something. I drove up.
Let me guess, at Culver's?
No, it wasn't at Culver's. It wasn't at Culver's. It was at the school. It was at the school, but he was like spraying. So I went up and met with him and everything.
Oh, okay.
And then like a couple weeks later, he was like, hey, I want to offer you the job and all that stuff. And then, so then I show up, right? Yeah. And there's also this other guy. Yeah, we need to come up with a name from him.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna say his name, but
maybe we'll call him the snake wrangler, the snake wrangler or wrangler, snake wrangler.
There you go. The snake wrangler.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is that he wanted to have a manager to fill my position because I was real busy with the kid schedule. I have 4 kids. I'm a single father. So I was taking them, back and forth. So my schedule was kind of messed up in the beginning. I was like, I want someone to be there every single day, on time. That way they can control anything that's going on. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not mad about it. He goes, I'm not going to deduct your pay, nothing like that. I just want you to show these guys how you do things here. And because I've been there for so long, he just wanted me to train these guys and see, show them the ropes and this and that. Anyways. So I was like, okay, so we're waiting for 2 guys to show up. There was going to be a manager and then an assistant manager.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for these guys to show up. And I don't know who was who in the position. And I'll let you explain from that part down.
Well, what happens is, I told Peoria that I'm going to leave, right? I said, but I'll stay until the end of Overseed, which is a big deal. So I wasn't going to be there until like right before Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving time.
Uh-huh.
All right. So then this other guy, the snake wrangler guy, he started before me, but then he went on. He had like some sort of vacation, like a hunting thing planned
right away.
Right away.
I'm like,
yeah.
How the fuck did you get hired? And then
I know exactly.
Right.
Right. So he had already started, but then when I showed up, I like introduced myself to Jesus and all this stuff, and we started working together. We had like this irrigation project we were doing and stuff, and Jesus was kind of testing me and like my knowledge and all this stuff. But then there was this other guy, but it kind of turns out the funny story is that Jesus didn't know who was actually supposed to be the manager or the assistant manager. Yeah. So, but it turns out eventually, Jesus was kind of like, man, you know a lot about what you're doing and like all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm the manager. And he was like, oh, really? I didn't even know. I thought maybe the Snake Ranger guy was going to be the manager and shit.
Yeah, because I spent time with both of you guys, and then this guy's over here. Like I'm talking about like changing vows and overseeding and all that stuff, and he doesn't seem like he really knows too much about it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how the fuck are you gonna be a manager? You know what I mean? And not being able to do all this shit at all. You know what I mean? Like this guy spent a lot of time with him, like I said, and he was clueless. I mean, he was the type of guy that actually would say he knew it all. Oh, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah, he was.
Or I've done this before, and then when it comes down to it, he freezes, or he just like, full of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I
said, I knew he was kind of full of shit early on, but again, I wasn't there to call people out or make people mad or whatever. I was just happy just to fucking be there and making a paycheck. I was getting paid, and everything. So again, that's what I was happy for. But okay, so it turns out that Snake Wrangler guy, he gets sort of figured out, and we know he's a piece of shit
instantly.
Yeah, and he's gone. But me and Jesus, we sort of bond, and we kind of become friends, and then our friendship sort of grows over time and time, and more and more and more. And we share personal stories, and we share, I'm introduced to his kids, and he's introduced to my kids, and all these things keep happening. And then we become basically best friends. Like we just from this one
just clicked right away.
In a year or two, like we're like best friends.
A lot of shit in common.
Yeah. And then I start my business, Point B Grading and Turfgrass Maintenance LLC, and then Jesus gets his job back. Maybe he learned some things, all that stuff. He's better for it and everything. But the thing is, kind of the thing we're here to talk about is maybe divorce, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm, recently divorced. Actually, if we want to be super specific about it, we could talk about that. That today or yesterday,
Happy Divorce Day.
Is Happy Divorce Day, right? So, and if you don't know that, during my divorce, this whole time, my divorce has basically gone on for like a year. Jesus has been there for me. He has gone through a divorce, and has been my support, one of my main supporters this whole time, and has kept me sort of under control. And also he has guided me through the divorce process, which, he is remarkably accurate on. So, it's funny how you called everything, how she was going to react, and how the process went, and how everything went to a T. Like I don't. It's like, and you've only been divorced once. Not like you've been divorced 5 times.
I was divorced in 2017.
But it was that impactful on you that you remembered how the process went and everything.
You can never forget that. I mean, it's something big in your life, and you go through it. It doesn't leave. It's always there. Yeah, and it's something that you always gonna remember. That. Yeah, honestly,
I remember when shit went down. That obviously I went to your house. Well, the first night I spent the night in a hotel.
Yeah.
But the next night I called you.
Well, I told you, I was like, you should talk to me.
I know.
I didn't know you're
I know, but that's who I am. Yeah. I don't like to. I have the natural instinct of I don't want to bother people with my burdens. Yeah. So it feels like there's no reason for me to put this burden on you. It shouldn't be your problem. That's like a thing that I have. I don't know.
It's a man thing. It's a man thing.
Yeah. But I finally called Jesus and I told him what was going on, and Jesus was like, "Come to my house, bring what you're bringing, I got a bed for you, and I did, and super appreciated. I think we got drunk the first night, whatever it was.
Yeah. We had a lot to talk about that night. Yeah.
We did. But you had a lot of good advice about the process and what was going to happen. I remember that. I kind of remember the way I kind of remember was that I was going to be like, hey, you were like, hey, you need to go down and file first.
Right away, yeah.
Yeah, but I was kind of like, well, yeah, but maybe we'll give it a week and everything. But within that week, my ex had already hired a lawyer and filed for divorce. She beat me to it, So, but again, not that I didn't have plans not to file.
Yeah.
But she rushed down as soon as she fucking could to go down and do it, which gave a lot of intentions, but it didn't really affect anything in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then, trying to think. So after that, then we basically, you kind of told me that I didn't need to get a lawyer at first and these kind of things, right?
Yeah, because when you jump into a divorce right away, and unless there's something tragic or something that's crazy that's happening that someone has proof that you're being a crazy person and whatever it was.
Just to put out, we're not lawyers or anything. This is not like legal advice. So, just as our opinion, just what we're going on.
Well, because I went through a divorce in 2017, and when I went to get consulting from a lawyer, the lawyer told me, like, he asked me several questions. There was nothing out of the ordinary that was so crazy that I absolutely needed to have a lawyer the whole time.
Yeah.
But I just kept him the whole way just because I'd never been through this. It's scary. Yeah. It sucks. And it's kind of like, it's new. So you don't want to mess up anything. You're just vulnerable at that time. You don't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely. I 100% had those feelings. And again, but then you were there for me to kind of guide me along the way. And this is the paperwork you're going to get. And this is what you need to do. You need to sign this. You need to get this notarized and do all these things. And that was super, super, super helpful. So, but there's one point, again, at first you were like, I don't really think you need a lawyer. But I think kind of as like we went on, you could kind of see some signs that maybe my ex was, she kept saying, like, I want this to be amicable, and I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to do anything that I just want to be divorced and we'll be good co-parents. But I think really kind of like in the end, or as we noticed, and you noticed definitely, was that she was really trying to like set me up in a way.
Well, because I told you, I was like, my brother went through a divorce before me.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 5 brothers. Okay. And my brother went through a divorce before me, and I had family members that went through a divorce. And the first thing, and I don't like to put people out there like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It seems like every single time the woman wants to be able to work with you at that time. All of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's the last minute, you can do this by yourself. We don't have to do this. And all of a sudden you get paperwork in the mail. You didn't know what's coming in, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I'm serving you. I want full custody of the kids, and I don't want you to be any part of their life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't. Mine wasn't maybe that extreme and everything, but there was definitely a point of like
chances.
There were chances, and there were things where right before we had our like our settlement meeting, like lawyer to lawyer, face to face kind of stuff, that I got some interesting questions from her lawyer about paperwork that she wanted, and there was something where I had requests, or I had become a certified substitute teacher with the state, but I haven't done any work or anything, and somehow her lawyer knew that, so her lawyer was asking for all my W-2s of all the substitute teacher work I've done. Well, I haven't done any, but how did she know that? Because she was fucking told that shit.
As a lawyer, they need to ask every single
I know, right? I do. Yeah.
They're going to ask her, and she's going to provide all the information that they want.
Yeah.
But it could go both ways. I don't know. I feel like they're there to help you, but at the same time, they're there to help you just for you.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes what's always right, and it's like, I'm going to get you what you want, but not care about what the kids. That's my viewpoint.
Yeah. But, so again, there was at some point in this whole process that Jesus even was kind of like, man, you should probably get a lawyer. Yeah.
Yes,
and I took his advice, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go get a lawyer. But one of the things I wanted to talk about with you, Jesus, is we've talked a lot about is being a father to our children after divorce. And I know it's something that's very important to me. That's the name of my podcast. And my experience with you, we've talked about it recently, that how important it is to you. I don't know how much you want to share or how much you want to talk about, but I kind of love to hear your story a little bit about how you have your kids and baby mama's kids, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much you want to share, but if you want to, elaborate on it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's like the scariest thing I've ever been through in my life.
Yeah.
In my past relationship when I got my divorce, she was me. You know what I mean? Yeah. She took the kids away from me for 4 months. I wasn't able to see my kids for 4 months. And that's like the shittiest thing you could do to a dad. Like,
yeah.
Why? I always had these questions. Why? Why do I deserve this? And nothing wrong. But some people can be shitty. I'm not saying everybody's the same, but it goes that way.
Yeah.
And
I'm to interrupt a little bit. I feel the same way. Like I'm not perfect. But I was trying hard. Like we're trying, right? Like you're trying as fucking hard as you can, but I know I'm not perfect.
It's crazy because there's so many deadbeats out there.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or just people who just leave. You know what I mean? Like completely, and they don't get to enjoy any of their life or see what it's like.
They don't pay child support, or they don't do any of this shit. They leave the states or whatever. Yeah.
Right. But it's one of the most beautiful things you can have in your life.
Yeah.
Like having a kid and enjoying the time with them and watching them being raised and grow is the most beautiful gift we have from God. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I 100% agree that in my podcast, I've talked about having, when I was growing up, I didn't have a purpose in life. And I didn't have, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've listened or not, but I've had I didn't have a purpose, and and if I didn't have a purpose, I didn't have motivation.
Right.
And that I didn't, it didn't, push me to do anything. But when I had my kids, when I had my first kid, then I instantly
360.
I instantly was like, a retirement plan, medical insurance, like all these things are now important to me, which were not important to me before.
Yeah.
And, it's just kind of like this thing where that providing for my kids is my number one priority in my life. And, I would basically do anything for my kids,
That's the job until you die.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my job now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I remember at that time before I had kids, I made it, just like any youngster, you make your mistakes, right?
Oh, yeah.
You go through a lot of hardships, and then you do a lot of bad stuff. You know what I mean?
But again, especially when we first have kids, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, we don't know. Like, we're guessing like everyone else.
Brand new. It's brand new. So, if you're doing wrong, right? Nothing. It's just you're going with the flow type of thing, and then you learn as you go. But I remember just being young and being stupid and dumb, fucking up a lot.
Yeah.
And then I actually had like you said, a purpose. And it's hard to explain, but it's not in the same way. Like
it's weird because it like overwhelms you, it consumes you, and it is. I'm not saying that's all you
got
think
no
about.
Choice now.
But it's always in the back of your mind that I have to wake up and go to work because I need to feed my family.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. It's, it's not forefront in your mind, but it's always there. Mm-hmm. Always. Yep. And it's just like this instinct thing of that once you have kids, it's there.
Yep.
100%
agree. It's like, you wake up in the morning, first thing comes to your mind is to get your ass up, you gotta work.
Yes.
Make sure you pay those damn bills.
Yes.
Make sure those kids have those clothes, haircuts, and all everything they need for like their whole life. Like you gotta do that.
Yeah.
Provide.
Like when I first separated with my ex-wife, I remember thinking my main goal is to make sure my kids have a place to sleep, and that their bellies are full.
Yep.
I don't want my kids to be hungry. I don't want them going back to their mother's house and being like, I'm hungry. Like, dad didn't feed me. Like, no, I will I will order DoorDash for whatever you want. I don't care. Like, you're not going to go back hungry,
And it's hard too, man. Like sometimes you might not have the funds for everything, but you do your best, and you might not have like this crazy king mattress that's off the floor with this split that costs like $900. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. All my kids, all my beds here. I think my second son actually has the best bed. He actually has a headboard, but I have a metal frame mattress or a metal frame box frame from Walmart. My other son has the same one. You know, it's like it is what it is.
Why the fuck does the kids have better shit than us?
I know exactly. But that's what we do, right? We're dads. You know,
put them first. So it's like it's okay. I don't have it, but you're gonna have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is it? So, trying to think another good question for you here. Feels like I'm trying to interview you.
I don't mind either way. But we're talking about work though, about how I met you and then that snake wrangler guy.
Oh yeah.
But
you got a funny story about the snake wrangler?
Oh my god, I got too many stories. We probably don't have enough time to tell all the stories.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to a lot of important things that I remember. Like you told me I've helped you, but man, I will let you have the time to tell them, you know, whoever's listening about what I've told you. I know I've talked to you several times about my things and how my kids and how, you know, I've been through a dark time, but you helped me through a lot before I even had a chance or opportunity to help you.
Yeah.
And I was like so basically I was coming to work every day just like stressed. I was stressed out. Fighting with this guy, just going back, and he was just like a super good guy. I felt like he had his head on all the way. He was like, you know, I popped a couple questions to him, and we related on some things, and then he was like, "Oh, I'll cut your back, whatever." You know what I mean? Part of the reason why I'm here today is because of him.
Yeah. You know, I think I think this is definitely This has definitely brought up something in my mind that I think we can both sort of relate to, and that's just kind of like our dads or our men's mental health in a way.
Yeah.
That we have both, during our process here, our divorce process, we have both suffered from depression and anxiety, and that it is a real thing. Now we both have dealt with it in different ways.
Yeah. For men, for all men and whoever's listening, it is a real thing. I mean, people paint us out as we got to be this tough guy attitude. We're like emotionless, like we don't have no emotion, and we're bulletproof, like nothing hurts us. But man, we have feelings just like everybody else. It is not easy.
I always joke with Jesus that his name's Jesus, so if you didn't know, he's Mexican.
Yes, sir.
But I think even if I'm not overstepping my bounds, that even in the Mexican culture, there's a very much a big machismo sort of thing that men shouldn't cry and like these sort of things. I think even in my culture, men shouldn't cry. We should be tough and, you know, we should be macho men and everything. But I think it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. Yep. It's okay to express your feelings. It's very healthy to express your feelings and to have emotions and all these things. That it's much, much worse on your health, on your physical health and your mental health to keep things bottled up.
Exactly. Yeah. You just turn into this whole other person. Like when you don't speak about anything, you're just like, you're stressed out. And then another day goes by and it builds up. And then all of a sudden you just, when you do find the time to speak out and say something, you're just in this a big emotional wreck where you're just like, everything sucks, and like everybody thinks I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I was raised to be tough and try to hold this stuff in and to do everything I can and to do the most, even if there's a woman or not a woman in my life. You just gotta be that way. But in reality, you learn and you adapt along the way. It's not how you are or how you're supposed to be or how you were taught to be. You're gonna adapt to different situations. Every kid is different in your life when you have kids. You're not just going to be the same way. You have to be a mom and a dad sometimes. Okay? You can't always be this tough guy. You got to be a mom too. You know? So, like I said, it's not easy. You got to break yourself in different ways. Try to see and read your kids too along the way. When you have kids, you got to be like, okay, this is, pick at their brain. Like, what's bothering you? You got to ask them questions. You got to, and then realize how they're feeling and adapt to that, because you can't just be a hard ass the whole time. Yep. If you are that way, they won't trust you. They won't talk to you.
No, I think that's an extremely good point, is to open up to your kids and to let them know that it's okay to express your feelings.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
If you keep your feelings bottled up and you don't express them, your kids will walk on eggshells around you. But if you talk to them, you express your feelings, it's okay. It's okay to express your feelings as a man.
Yeah.
It's fine. I know maybe that's what society or societal norms say. They say that it's not okay to talk about your feeling. Whatever. It's totally perfectly fine. In fact, I would encourage people to talk about their feelings more. I know it definitely helps me and all that stuff.
Well, how can someone know what's going on if you don't open your mouth? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's simple.
Yeah. Again, it's not tough. I would say it's not tough. It's not manly to suppress your feelings. It's a little bit more courageous, a little more brave
or whether you trust
to express
the person
your feelings.
You're talking to.
Yeah, and again, I think this goes back to another point of this is kind of how our friendship bonded, where we were able to bond on some of our feelings, and we sort of slowly started to open up to each other about our experiences and everything going on. And I think that even meeting you and talking and you telling me some of your experiences with your divorce and everything and your relationships, that it even opened up my eyes on what my relationship with my ex-wife really was.
Yeah.
That it was not a healthy relationship. You know what I'm saying? Which is good,
So what I think is, like, you're so used to being a certain way, right? By yourself, you and your wife. And same thing when I was, at that time, it was me and my wife, right?
Yeah.
And you did this constant life, the same routine.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
If you have a good routine, take care of your kids, make sure you take care of your wife, take care of your home, this and that. But there's a lot of shit that goes in between all that. There's your love life, right? And then there's your kids, and then you got to make sure that job's healthy too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a basic, I just get up and I work and I come home. You go through a constant battle of everything. You got emotions on, does my wife love me? How much can I give to her? Or how can she love me? Make me feel like I'm important. And then, am I doing enough for my kids? Or am I working hard enough to keep my fucking job? You got so much shit in your brain.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah, to be the provider, to do all those things. Again, I think that's one of the things that's sort of missed, is how much men, dads that we sacrifice. We are so desperate to provide for our family and our kids, even though we may not have the highest paying job. But
that shit don't matter.
We're trying to make the best of it. You can
be the best dad working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Exactly. But it's like it sometimes it feels like you have to have that pressure of being successful, especially nowadays with the modern feminine woman. That
it's not wrong to want more.
Yeah, you have to have 6-pack abs, a 6-figure job, and 6-inch dick. The 666 roll.
Right.
But it's like that's not. That's to me that none of that shit matters to my spouse. My spouse just wants to be my best friend and be a supporting partner to me.
That's not all you need in a relationship.
Yeah,
there's so much more to that.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's sad how society is now, and how it can be portrayed. It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
But and then one-sided too. I mean, it goes back to one-sided shit. Sometimes it's like, when you're in a relationship, it's always encouraged to be like, you have your other half that's really not there for you, but they'll encourage you to have your back and all this stuff. But they're not really in it with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because just because they have everything they need, they're not going to complain about anything, But, I mean, you live every single day and then you start to see shit that's not really how you think it was going to be.
Yeah.
And you still try hard. But I think in life, you can't, I don't think you should settle. I don't think you should lie. I don't think you should not give it your all. You should always do all those things.
Yeah.
But don't forget what's important.
Yeah.
Along the way. You gotta have, everything lined up for it's not just about yourself. It's about everybody.
Yeah. I kind of think of it this way in the way I kind of view my life now, or I project my life, whatever it is. That when I used to do job interviews, I learned that I'm just going to be the most honest and genuine person I am in my job interview.
Mm-hmm.
And if this company or these people don't want me, then they don't want me.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am.
Right.
I'm not going to pretend to be the person they want me to be. I'm going to be the person that I am.
Yeah.
And I will find a company or a business or something that will want me for who I am. And I think that's the same tactic I'm going to take into my new relationships now is I am who I am. I'm not trying to be the perfect husband. I'm not trying to be whatever. I am who I am. I know what my values are. I know what my morals are. I know what is important to me. And I am who I am.
Yeah.
And whether you want to be part of that or not, then that's that. If you're not the fit, then you're not the fit. Sorry.
Right. And I agree with that 100% because when you say I am who I am, it's loving you for yourself and who you are.
Yeah.
It's not changing who you are for somebody else.
Exactly.
It's not being forced to be somebody else because they're telling you to be something else.
Yeah.
It's, you gotta love yourself first,
mm-hmm.
man.
Absolutely.
100%. You gotta love yourself first in order to give everybody your love.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give fake love to everybody because it's not gonna work out. To your relationship, to your kids. You have to love yourself. 100%.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a very good point. And maybe we should probably end on that. We're at the 32-minute mark here, or the 30-minute mark. But I do think that maybe we should give a shout out to our kids. You want to give a shout out to your kids?
Yeah. So I just want to say I love all you guys with everything I have from the bottom of my heart. Okay, I won't tell your names out there because I'm not going to put you guys on blast. But you know who you are.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much, and everything I do on a day-to-day basis is for you guys. And I can't wait for more, man. I can't wait for us to go through all the experiences. You guys are just kids now. You shouldn't have to worry about anything else but being a kid.
Yep.
Let's have fun. Let's have all these new experiences. Let's enjoy life.
Yeah, I know. We talked the other day about how your kids call me Uncle Brandon, and it's a great honor to be considered Uncle Brandon. I love my nephews and everything, and I love your kids too. It warms my heart so much. I can't tell you how much it does. And then I told my kids the other day. I gave them a text because I've been going through some things and. That's part of this podcast is to kind of work through the mental health stuff. But I told my kids that I love them unconditionally. And I explained what unconditional means is that basically I love them and I expect nothing in return from it.
Right.
That I will love them no matter what. And they don't need to repay me in any way. I love my kids more than anybody. And I know you love your kids more than anybody too. I know we have the same sentiments. Maybe we say it in a different way, but that's totally fine.
They all know it, though.
They know it.
They all know it.
So I love your kids. I love my kids.
I love your kids too, man.
Yeah.
They're part of my family. They came in, and I told all of them, I was like, man, I love you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where we'll wrap it up for this episode. Maybe we'll probably have a Jesus back, and we'll continue on this topic or these conversations. But thank you for listening, and say bye, Jesus.
Later, guys. Happy to be here. Thank you guys very much for listening.
And again, this podcast is exclusively on Spotify. And thank you for listening. We'll see you on the flip side.
Laters.